Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of the Three Man Weave, live here from the Georgia Dome. Indiana season comes to an end, 102-90, and probably one of the better college basketball games that really has been played all year. The highest scoring game that the NCAA tournament has seen all year, and really for about 30 years, you look to be right in it. But foul shooting by Kentucky was an NCAA record, 35 of 37. They shot it tonight. Compared to the first game, they were 10 of 17. That was really the difference. Foul trouble kind of wore, I think, IU down. Victor Oladipo fouled out when IU had cut it to 5 with 5 minutes to go, and they really just didn't have any run in them, and they really couldn't hit that big shot that really set the Crimson crowd that was here, even though it was mostly a sea of blue, brought it to their feet. So, guys, just your general thoughts on the game. For me, again, it was foul shooting by UK, and then Anthony Davis staying on the floor in the second half. It just made a huge difference for the Cats.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the way that you kind of thought. I had said in the pre-man weave, I'm not trying to make my prediction look good by any means, but this is what we thought the final result would be like this. But if you had also told me that IU was going to score 90 points against a UK defense like this, I would have called you crazy, or I would have said that okay, IU's going to win.
The nation's best field goal percentage defense.
Yeah, the UK. I mean, they have just the length that they have and the way that they impose their will defensively is just unlike anything you'll see in the country. So for IU to score the amount of points that they did, I thought was impressive. And that's the thing about this game is that you didn't even get the sense that IU played poorly. You just get you just get the sense that they ran into a better team. They ran into the best team in the country.
They ran out of steam.
Yeah, and we were kind of wondering how long IU was going to be able to stick with them. And at the end of the day, this Kentucky team might very well be celebrating a national championship a week and a half from now. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that would surprise anybody. So IU didn't necessarily do any one specific thing wrong. I think this is a game where, you know what, the better of two teams won, and that happens.
Yeah, Kentucky, I think the big thing in the second half was, again, Davis staying on the floor. You could tell IU was really trying to get him to get that third foul, fourth foul, like he did in the team's first matchup. And they fed Cody Zeller on probably like the first 3 or 4 trips to start the second half. He did foul Davis, and he really played some pretty good D and showed why he is the National Defensive Player of the Year. So for me, that was kind of the difference. Avi, it just didn't seem like IU could hit that shot. You were kind of waiting for Jordan Holes or Watford, the guys who had really shot it well throughout the game, to hit one of those shots to cut it to 5 or 4, and it never happened.
It was really a weird game. It really was. The first half, obviously the foul trouble for the two big men, for Zeller and Davis, kept them. And if I were to tell you that Indiana would only be down 5 and Anthony Davis would be limited to 2 points in the first half without Cody Zeller on the floor for a long time, I tell you what, you would be a very, very happy Hoosier fan, because Christian Wofford especially really stepped up in that first half, as you guys were talking about. And then the second half, it kind of felt like just, I don't want to say the fouls dictated the game in the sense that the officiating was poor, but that it really forced IU to adapt its game and to limit it, in the sense that, Victor Oladipo, once again, it's just, you're playing with another guy down. Christian Wofford's accumulating fouls, and furthermore, who would have thought this John Calipari team just shooting the lights out from the free throw line, a far cry from what we saw with Memphis a few years back. But it was just a really weird game, and furthermore, Kentucky hit 5 threes and scores 102 points.
5 of 10 from the...
Right, 5 of 10.
So efficient, yeah.
Yeah, it's very efficient. What ended up happening is Kentucky started to play the type of ball that Kentucky likes, and that's getting out in transition and really just kind of out-hustling you down the floor, getting down low, attacking the basket and drawing those fouls. And in the end, I kind of felt like the aggressor won in this game, and that was Kentucky.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. I think in the first meeting, Kentucky only had like 2 fast break points, or they barely had any. Tonight they had 18, and then, again, they got a lot of easy baskets. Coach Kyle, after the game, definitely isn't happy with his team's defensive effort.
He's never happy with this team.
5 of 10 from behind the arc compared to IU, I believe, was like 5 of 18. 5 of 18. I think that was kind of the difference. You were waiting for IU in the second half to, string a couple baskets, kind of force Cal maybe take a timeout,
right.
And really kind of silence this, predominantly blue crowd here, but IU just couldn't feed off the same energy that they had in the first meeting, and in the first meeting they hit seven straight threes. I think that was the biggest difference, and like Avi said, fouled out, I think that was kind of the last straw.
Yeah.
There goes your energy guy. There goes
Or
your
rebounder.
Right. There goes your kind of the guy who creates energy for you. And Victor played great all night. He attacked the rim. When Davis was in there, when Davis wasn't in there,
15 points.
I think he knew that he had to be the guy. And I saw tweets during the game that we were sitting opposite the IU bench, but Tom Crean mentioned to Victor they can't guard you, and really it didn't look like they had an answer for Victor. And so I think when he fouled that, I believe it was right around the 5-minute mark, that kind of spelled the end. It was 82-77. I remember when he did foul out. But I think, like these guys said, the better team won, the aggressor won. But it was one of the best college basketball games that we've seen all year. Guys, let's just talk about the season in general. Just a little recap. All three of us would be lying if we thought we'd be sitting in the Georgia Dome and really thinking that IU had a great chance to go to the Elite Eight. And even after watching Baylor, I thought whoever won this nightcap was probably going to go to the Final Four. What are your guys' general thoughts? I know it's going to be a pretty open-ended question, but I'll start with you, Connor. What are your thoughts just on this season in general?
I would have never thought I'd be sitting here right now. I know you just said that, but if you would have told me in the beginning of the season that it was going to take the best team in the country to knock out this team relatively deep in the NCAA tournament, I would have called you crazy. I thought this team was due for an NIT bid. I didn't think that this team was capable of doing anything in the postseason. And for them to get to this point and all the hurdles that they overcame this year, it's been drawn out so much, but deservingly so. This is one of the stories of the year in college basketball. And we'd be remiss if we didn't stop and take a moment and reflect on what these kids, and yes, they are kids, have put together in this body of work. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's a loss that's going to end the season, and it's always hard to look back on a season knowing that you lost a game, your final game. But the body of work that these kids put together in this season, this turnaround, it's just an unbelievable story. And I just am proud to be a part of it, and proud to have covered these guys.
Don Fisher, I heard him earlier in the week on WIRX radio show saying that in his 39 years of covering this team, this is his most gratifying season. So that just puts it into perspective right there. Avi, for you, 3 top 5 wins, beating Kentucky, beating Ohio State, et cetera, big road wins, finally winning a game in the ACC Big Ten Challenge, sweeping Purdue, et cetera. What's this mean?
As analysts and especially as a columnist, but I think all three of us are as basketball writers, it's our job to kind of figure out this team. It's kind of look at upcoming games and say, oh, that's a win, that's a loss. They have these tendencies. And to me, they just, maybe it's because I'm bad at what I do, but I just they kept surprising me. They go ahead and beat Kentucky and they beat Ohio State, and it feels like, the sky's the limit. And then they go ahead and lose 3 straight to Iowa, Nebraska, and, then they drop a game, at home against Minnesota, which ends up being its only home loss of the year. And all of a sudden then, you're down on them again, and maybe this isn't who they thought, and, maybe the first 2 wins were a fluke. And then before you know it, they're right back up there. They beat Michigan State, just a very strong end to the season, with home victories against Michigan State and Purdue. And, Verdell Jones goes down in the ACC, in the Big Ten tournament. They prove you wrong again. They come back even, I won't say even stronger, but they come back resilient in the NCAA tournament, meet a very, very good VCU team, kind of like at the buzzer, and even hung around tonight with the best, team in the country. And I think just never have an Indiana team like this, because perception versus reality. You expect them to do a certain amount, and they continue to prove you wrong. And I think that's why this team will be special.
It's a hell of a run for the senior class as well. It's nice to see Daniel Moore get in late. Corey Barnett, I can see Tom Crean is trying to get him in the game on that last play, but Kentucky just ended up running out the clock. So, but for these seniors, nothing to be ashamed of. 27-9, they set records that no IU team has set. Even 75-76 Hoosiers didn't beat 3 top 5 teams in the regular season like this team did. So now, I guess, turn the page to the future. We should mention Christian Watford, I guess, was asked after the game if he will be returning. He says he doesn't know yet. Obviously, it's tough for any college-age kids to answer that question immediately after the game, but IU does have to figure out one scholarship between now and the summer. But again, it was a great season. Thanks, guys, for watching these 3-man weaves. We hope that you guys liked them, and we'll see. Maybe IU will end the season in Atlanta next year, as this is the site of the Final Four. So for Connor O'Gara, Avi Zalen, I'm Kevin Bowen. Again, thanks. And we'll talk to you soon.